So I named this video Life Happens because it definitely happened to me. I was at a point where I thought that I had everything figured out. I had, you know, my family, I had the person I was going to be with. I just knew that from here on out. I didn't think that things were going to be easy, but I definitely thought that I had more figured out than I actually do. So with that came, I kind of just shut down a little bit. I'm so used to being a happy person every single day that when I'm not happy, I don't feel like myself. I think I wrote on one of my Instagram posts that I didn't feel authentic. I felt like, you know, how can I wake up and post something inspirational every day when that's not really how I'm feeling inside? And I was really actually disappointed in myself for being so upset and for being so sad and for basically hiding. I felt like a coward. When you're in a relationship, you lose your identity a little bit, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that, you know, when you're with someone, you guys just start to mesh, and your lives become one life. But when that is no longer there, it's kind of like you're picking up the pieces. I just didn't know who I was anymore. Someone finally said to me, "Chris, you're human. Like, don't beat yourself up for being sad, and don't beat yourself up for, you know, being unsure, because life happens," and it does. And I finally got to a place where I'm okay with it. Life happens. Sometimes things end, and things don't always need to end in catastrophe. Things don't always need to end with a big boom or a big explosion. Sometimes, you know, I really believe it when they say that people are in your life for a season, and just because that person is no longer in your life the way that you thought they would be, it doesn't make them any less valuable. You know, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's even noticed a change in me, because it definitely was a really rough patch. Like I said, I was finding my grounding again, and I still am. You know, sometimes you wake up and you realize, like, oh crap, I'm alone, or you want to figure out what you want to watch on TV and there's no one to ask, you know, what am I going to cook for dinner? Everything is my choice again, and it's hard, but I think that's necessary. I'm embracing the fact that I'm an individual and I don't have to be with someone else to feel complete. I'm just on a mission, and you know, you see it a lot, like I'm on a mission to self-love, but I really am. I want to know what makes me tick. I want to know what makes me truly happy, and I don't want that to be attached to what makes someone else happy. Not for now anyway. You know, I've done that, like I said, for a really long time. It was a hard thing to go through because I was so public, like, let alone the fact that I felt that I failed at a relationship, and that's just kind of hard enough to deal with. But then feeling like I'm going through it in the public eye, you know, I was very open with my relationship because I was very much in love. And I spoke to a couple of people, and one friend in particular who really upset me. But then when I sat back and thought about our conversation, I felt empowered because, you know, she made a comment saying, "Oh, well, that's why I don't put my business on Instagram." So initially I kind of felt like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have been so open with my relationship and with my love life and with my happiness, because now that it's over, you know, I don't want people to think that it wasn't valid. But I had to kind of think, like, this is life, and this is what happens in life. Sometimes things don't work out the way you plan, and I don't feel like I should have to hide or not be true to myself, which is someone who likes to share with other people, you know, whether I'm happy or I'm sad. When you're sad, it's kind of harder to share, but I still try to let people in and inspire people by my everyday life. So I decided not to be ashamed, you know, not to be embarrassed, because, and also was very adamant about not going back and deleting any posts, any pictures. Like, my life is pretty much an open book. I still have a child, so I have to, there's boundaries. I have a child, he has a father, you know, there's other people involved in my life outside of me, and I try to respect them and their privacy as much as possible. But I'm not going to be ashamed for being in love, and I'm not going to be ashamed for shouting it from the mountaintops, because that's how I felt. After our conversation, I realized that that's what makes me special, that's what a lot of people are afraid to do, and that's fail in front of other people. And you know, I'm not really afraid to do that, and if I'm ever in love again, God willing, I'm going to shout it from the mountaintops again, and hopefully I get it right that time. But I just wanted to give you guys, you know, a little update on what's going on with me. I'm sorry I've been distant. I've been going through things. I've been going through life. But I'm back, and I really want to be on YouTube more regularly. Before, I feel like I was making videos that required a lot of editing and other people, but I think I like this setting more. You've seen it, or some of you probably have seen my Instagram post where I was wearing this her shirt. Let me zoom in on this. Let me clear that up. Hold on. So yeah, I was asked by Maroof to be featured as the her for the month of October, and like I was saying on Instagram, it was literally right after the breakup, and I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like I wanted to be in front of anybody's camera. I didn't feel like smiling. I didn't feel like faking the funk, and I didn't want people to see me like that. So I went back and forth, you know, in my head, and I'm just like, wait, what am I ashamed of? I'm living my life. I'm 26 years old, and sometimes when you're someone who inspires other people, or you're looked at as someone who has all the answers, when you don't have all the answers, it's kind of like you don't know what to do, you don't know how to move. And that's kind of what I was going through at that point. But you know, I'm glad I said yeah, and he came, and we had a really dope session, a really dope interview, and I felt good about myself. And then I posted a post on Instagram where I just basically let everyone know, you know, what I've been dealing with personally, and the influx of love that I got is like, literally, I can't even describe how it makes me feel to, you know, it's not easy to share all the time. It's scary. It's kind of like you're typing into a phone or whatever, and you're typing, pouring out your heart and soul, and you hit send, and you just hope that it travels somewhere, and it travels to someone, and it makes a difference. And that's what happened. You know, I was really scared to write that post. Not to write it, but I was scared to post it. I kind of got that feeling like I was a little bit shaky. I was a little bit teary-eyed, because I really dug deep, and it really, I really had to be honest with myself. It's easy to be honest with yourself when everything's all good. It's easy to say like, oh, the sky is so blue, and look at my flowers, and X, Y, Z, but when the skies aren't blue, and there are no flowers, and you know, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, what are you sharing? You know, I don't want to boggle people down, and I don't want to make people feel like I'm a train wreck, or at least that's what I thought that I would be doing. But when I actually posted that, and I saw like all the positive comments, and people started texting me, and people started DMing me, and next thing you know, like 50 people followed me, and you know, I got about 2 different emails today about, you know, people who wanted to feature me on their blogs, and it basically reinforced for me that when you, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, but when you open yourself up to the world and to the universe, like the world and the universe opens itself back up to you. And when you open yourself up to people, you know, no matter how afraid you are of people's judgments, you know, there are those people who will open back up to you, and they'll let you see how much it's worth it. Follow me on Instagram at ChrisMiss. Follow me on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. I need those subbies. Every day is ChrisMiss, and I will speak to you guys next week. Bye. Every day is ChrisMiss.
Every day is Christmas. Goodbye.